welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone.
Yes, to episode 7
of Not My Cup of Tea.
Not My Cup of Tea.
What's our topic today, Lex?
It is quarter life crisis.
Quarter life crisis.
Let me tell you the inspiration behind this episode. So, actually, I think you should start because low-key you had yours first. So I think you should explain a little bit of why we're doing this specific topic.
Okay. I think I had mine first. So first of all, I looked up, what is a quarter life crisis? It's kind of like, you're a little lost in life. Like you thought maybe you had a plan, nothing goes according to plan. And I feel like I kind of got hit with that maybe when I was like 21, 22. Like I was like 3 years into like JC at Chapey College, and like I still did not know what I wanted to do at all, and that just like that kind of like hit me hard with like my mental health.
Maxwell. That's my dog.
That's Alexis's son.
I swear he's happy. He's just mad because I'm not paying any attention.
I think he just wants to contribute to that.
He just wants to make his presence known. I'm so sorry, Maxwell.
There. Quiet on the set, Max.
Jesus.
So anyways, so I think me not knowing what I wanted to do after like 2-3 years into college still, especially with the pressure like my dad was putting on me too, just to like find a career and like, be like, have like a solid goal. I didn't have it. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I probably changed my major like 4 or 5 different times. So I think that was like my quarter life crisis. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like my kind of friendships were like all over the place. Like I feel like I didn't have a really good support system. Like I feel like I didn't have anyone to talk to about all this. I couldn't really relate to anyone about my situation either. And like I think just looking from social media too at that point, like a couple years after we graduated, like it seems like everyone had it like figured out already, and like everyone's taking pictures of like their schools and like oh, I just got my bachelor's, or like and all that.
Yeah.
So that's when I was just like, damn, like I really feel like I'm not going anywhere. So I had mine around like 21, maybe 22. I'm 24 now. So that was like my quarter life crisis.
Okay. So where are you at now as far as, like, do you still feel that way, or do you feel like you're progressing?
I feel a lot better.
Okay, good.
I feel a lot better. I got, my 2 degrees from Chapey.
Yeah, I'm so
and
proud
I'm
of
really
you.
proud of myself about it. Like, I'm the first one in my family to even, like, graduate, even if it's just, like, a junior college. So I was really, really happy about that.
Yeah.
And there's, like, just a big sense of pride when your parents just tell you that. They're proud of you, and it's, like, great. Like, I didn't even want to walk at the graduation, and, like, my dad got so mad at me. Like, how would you not want to walk? And I was just, like, and I just see I think my problem is I compare myself to others a lot. And I'm just, like, damn, like, they got their bachelor's, or they're on their way to their master's already. So it's, like, I don't, like, really, I don't really hype myself up too much. Because I'm, like, it's just an associate's, like, 2. But it was a really big deal for me. After I realized, like, whoa, I actually did that.
Yeah.
I passed those math classes.
You did. You fucking did that shit.
And I'm a little deep when it comes to math, too. And I had to study my ass off every single day, and I did it. And after I got done with Chafee, like, I realized, like, what I want to do, I want to be a high school guidance counselor. And
that's exciting. So now you found your purpose, and you feel like you have a goal that you can like start striving to achieve.
Absolutely.
That's
so
good,
I feel like now I have like a vision for the future. Like I feel like now, like compared to where I was a couple years ago, I do have that solid support system. Like I have friends who I know like are behind me all the way, who I know I could lean on, like you, or just like all of our other friends. So I feel like life has really kind of like settled for me that way. So I'm not like too much of a crisis. Like I know just because of like COVID, like right now everything's crazy and it's really hard to like get started with school.
Yeah.
But I really want to hop back into that really soon just to head towards that goal. But overall, yeah, like I feel like it's getting better.
That's good.
I just have to deal with the fact that I'm just upset that I'm still stuck at my job, dealing with food, dealing with people I don't want to deal with. Like I think that's something that like I feel like I'm kind of like on pause right now, and I hate it. But it's just like, there's not much I could do about that right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But overall, like, I feel like I got past my crisis.
That's good. Can't relate.
Okay, and I think Alexis has totally something different to say.
Yeah, so the reason we're actually, like, talking about this topic is because I basically had a full-blown meltdown this past week. I don't know. I think I'm just not necessarily completely happy with where I'm at anymore. With work, with, you know, just, like, a lot of things, a lot of aspects of my life. And obviously, like, I'm the only one to blame for that. Like, I put myself in these situations, or I allowed myself to get comfortable, or whatever the case, like, may have been. And I'm kind of upset with myself. But at the same time, I'm like, trying to get out of that, like, state of mind, because I feel like the more I'm just, like, upset or just, like, annoyed of myself, the less motivated I am to do something about it. But basically, like, what kind of, like, kicked it off is I feel like, for the most part, this past year was a pretty rough year for me.
Yeah.
Obviously the breakup, which we discussed, like, in last episode, but also just, like, there was so many changes that were going on in my life in this past year. And then on top of that, you add a pandemic. And I'm not gonna lie, for the first, like, 4 months, it was all shits and giggles, because we were fucking on unemployment, living our best life, like, you know, like, whatever. But now that we're, like, but no,
where that second stimulus at, though? Where it at? ... All right, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Stop now.
But no, seriously, like, it was just before the pandemic hit, I think I was still just adjusting a lot, so I didn't really have time to think about, like, where I was at. And honestly, before COVID, like, things were different, and I was genuinely happy with my job. I had quit the job that I was unhappy with and started at a new job where I am, like, I do like working there. I think at this particular moment in time, I don't like where I'm at with both jobs, but it's, like, because of me, because, like, I want more in the sense. So I think that's where
But you are just, like, good at your job, if I may say.
No, yeah, I definitely, like, put in 110% effort. So in case you don't know, which I don't know if we got any new listeners on here, but
probably not.
right, but it's okay. We'll go over it anyways. So I work at Sephora. I'm a manager at Sephora. I'm the merchandising operational supervisor or whatever. And before COVID hit, I loved my job. I'm in charge of kind of, like, the look of the store and all the new updates for the brands and stuff like that, and it's literally, like, so much fun. I tend to thrive, like, when it comes to stuff like that, just, like, even fixing things in general. And I think I kind of realized that more so too when we were quarantined. Like, I was doing stuff around the house that I didn't even know, in a sense, that I was, like, capable of.
We did hella construction in the house. And I just went along for the ride. Like, Alexa was so inspired. Like, we're about to do some goddamn landscaping. Yep. We did some landscaping.
Yeah, no, we did so many projects, and it's just, like, I like that kind of stuff. I like to stay busy. I like doing projects. It's so funny because at work I'm so organized. I have, like, 4 binders, 2 agendas. Like, I have, like, all my shit fucking lined up, but
color coded.
Literally. But at home, I'm a fucking mess.
It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense.
But no, I love my job, and, like, I'm not even trying to toot my own horn, but, like, I was good at it. Like, I always got my shit done, and, like, I genuinely enjoyed what I did, and it was cool, and I was getting paid, like, I'm getting paid a good amount for, like, what I do.
Right.
And then when I was at Chipotle previously, and I wasn't happy with being there anymore. I wasn't happy with being with a part of that company.
Neither was I.
Yeah, any longer. So I finally, like, got out, and I started working at Raising Cane's, and I loved it. I loved my coworkers. I loved, like, just the environment was just so different from the environment that I
very much more
had been used
positive.
To. Yeah. And it was
just a lot more clean.
Stop it. Stop it. But anyways, no, yeah, I enjoyed it, and there was just a lot of changes. And then, like I said in the previous episode, like, we moved in together, And that was a big change on its own for all of us. Big adjustment. Like, Gabby and Michael have lived together their whole lives, but bring me into the mix. I've never lived with you guys ever. And, like, you know, it's had its ups and downs. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. It hasn't been all fucking rainbows and unicorns, like, the whole time.
Yeah.
It's never been terrible, but it's just little stuff, you know? You're not accustomed to the way that person lives or, like, whatever, and, you know, you have to just get used to each other, and then once you kind of find that groove, then it's fine.
And we kind of were rushed into it, too, so we didn't have time to process, okay, like, what's it gonna be like? Or, like, you know, we were kind of, like, based on our circumstances, we're rushed into this, like, you know?
Yeah. So. It wasn't even, like, it wasn't an option. Like, it wasn't, like, oh, well, I don't know if I can live with you because of this. It was like, no, we're moving in together because we need a fucking place to live, and we're not going to live on fucking the corner of Holt and goddamn mountain, okay? So no, yeah, we moved in together, and in case you're not familiar with Holt and Mountain, it's scary. That's all I'm going to say.
You know, I just got to say, though, like, for myself, like, I knew I would be capable of living with you. Otherwise, I would have never agreed to move in with you.
Yeah, we had said that even before we ever even thought about it. It was crazy. It was so weird. But I think it's because both, like, Gabby and I kind of have, like, in a sense, like, the same code of conduct. Like, you know what I mean? Yes. It's like, you can borrow my shit, but let me know. And you could borrow whatever you want. Put it back. That's all I ask. Gabby does the goddamn dishes. I will not touch the dishes. So God bless your fucking heart for doing that shit. If they ask me to wipe something down, I'll do it. But, like, honestly, I'm rarely out of my room anyways. So, like, I feel like I don't make too much of a mess, like, other than my room. But,
she takes the time to buy, you know, the plastic cups, the plastic cutlery. Yeah. Like, as long as she does her part in that, because she knows damn well she's not going to wash dishes. Yeah. So she takes the time to buy the things that she could just toss in the trash. Yeah. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. You know? I literally, I'm not even kidding you. I'm not going to say it out loud because I'm probably going to get arrested. But I found a way to get a bunch of bowls and forks and spoons. And I was stocked up for, like, at least the first, like, 6 or 7 months that we were living here. So, yeah, like, and then now, obviously, like, I just buy them, and then, I just throw that shit away afterwards. I don't have to wash it. I don't have to worry about it. Like, Michael takes out the trash. God bless him for doing that. Like,
Michael does do that. Like,
Michael takes out the trash, like, regularly, so I appreciate him for that, because, like I said, no. But either way, you know, it wasn't all rainbows and unicorns at first. Or I actually wouldn't even say at first. I would say, like, kind of in the middle. I think when we finally had settled, everything had settled, and we kind of were just, like, getting back into the groove of just, I think, quarantine, honestly, because before that we were all so busy. We were all super busy, and then quarantine happened, and now all of a sudden we're all home. Yeah. And I have a very strong personality, and you have a very strong personality, and Michael doesn't do well with strong personalities.
But Michael's learned to deal with me, and me and Michael have learned to deal with, like, each other. Yeah. So I think it was just, like, you and Michael more so having to, like, okay, how are we going to navigate in this household together? Yeah, because as much as, like, me and Gabby are very similar, there's things that she's willing to put up with that I'm not, and vice versa. And Michael is used to the way that obviously Gabby handles things, and I'm very different in that sense. And I had to learn how to communicate with him and him with me. And now obviously it's, like, a lot better. Like, there's no issues whatsoever. And not that there was, like, a ton of issues before, but it was just, like I said, like, learning how to communicate with different people. Yeah. And then in such close proximity. Because it's not like if we got upset with each other, it wasn't like we could just, like, go home. Like, bitch, we're home. like there's no escape. So I have a question. Yeah. So do you think moving in together kind of in a rush the way we did kind of pushed you more to, like, that quarter life crisis of, oh, like, I'm now living in a home with, like, you know, like, well, one, like, my best friend and her brother, but it's like, it's obviously an adjustment, like, mentally, like, okay, like, because first you were living with, like, Bucky for, like, you know, however long, and then you weren't happy.
I'm so glad you remembered his name because I forgot.
Well, yeah, you were living with Bucky, and then that was, you know, an adjustment. And then you weren't happy living at home for however long. So do you think kind of, like, jumping from home to, like, where you are now kind of, like, pushed you more towards that frustration when it comes to your quarter life crisis?
I actually think the opposite.
Oh.
I feel that when I lived with Bucky, I can honest to God say that I kind of used that as like a clutch because like I didn't have a ton of responsibilities in that sense because I had never technically been on my own. Like, yes, I lived with him, but I wasn't on my own, you know? So I feel like that was still another clutch. It was almost like, I guess like almost like living with my parents, except like obviously the circumstances were way better or different. I shouldn't say better, but like different. But then when that whole situation happened and we were kind of forced, and I will say forced because it was like we had to make moves, basically. It was that or fucking I'm literally going to end up sleeping in my car and you guys are going to end up like on the street. Like that was pretty much like the situation. So when we were kind of forced to figure things out, I feel like I unlocked almost another level to myself because I didn't necessarily know that I was capable of not only like taking care of finances, but like managing my time in order to try to find a place and like do all of this stuff. So I feel like in a lot of ways, it made this situation better. Just in general, though, I don't adjust to change very well. So it was just a lot of change, I think, at one time. And I just didn't adjust to it well. But I feel like moving in with you and Michael was a blessing in disguise because, like I said, like I live with my best friend. Like, you know, like anytime I'm going through anything, I can go to you. Right. Anytime you're going through anything, you come to me. Anytime I get annoyed of you, I just close my door and then 5 minutes later I'm like, bitch, where you at?
What we doing today?
I'm trying to like
Let's go get some pokey.
This is why we friends. Oh my god, that's so funny. No, but yeah, like it's such a new and fun experience that I'm so grateful for because I think that if I would probably be shitting fucking bricks right now if I was living on my own. Yeah. One, because I'm literally the biggest pussy I know. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I get scared of anything.
Literally, we can't walk into the house with no lights on.
No. It's unacceptable. I will literally turn the flashlight on my phone, walk into the house with, like, basically my keys in between my fingers, like I'm ready to just, like, jab somebody, like, you know? But no, I'm really grateful for that, and I feel like it helped actually a lot, just to kind of help me grow up a little bit, because there's no, like, when you live with other people, there's no clutch. I mean, in the sense, like Bucky took care of me a lot, and I'll like, you know, like he really did. I'm not gonna say he didn't. He really did, and in that specific aspect, I never really had to worry about it. But like moving in with you guys, it was like, okay, like now we have the electricity, the gas, rent,
Wi-Fi.
Like, yeah, Wi-Fi, bitch.
Which is shitty, by the way.
Super shitty Wi-Fi, but like fuck it, because we're freaking living
on a budget. I heard
that. But no, and there's no one else to rely on. Like, you're relying on them to get their rent, they're relying on you to get your rent, and if somebody doesn't make it, guess what? We're all out. Yeah, we're all fucking out of a house. So it's like, it's a different experience. It's new and it's exciting. But I feel like in that sense, I'm not really tripping. I feel like actually with my living situation, the most secure. I've been tripping a little bit just because it's almost been a year since we lived here, so we have to renew our lease.
And that's the type of adult shit I never had to worry about. Yeah. So it's like, I'm in new territory when it comes to like all that as well. Like if Alexa said, hey, we got to do this now about renewing the lease, and I'm just like, duh. Like, oh shit, like, yeah, you're right. But honestly, moving here, I feel like kind of pushed me out, like made me feel better about the quarter life crisis I had. Because when I was stuck at home with my grandparents and my mom, I was just like, dear God, almost every day, like, please get me the fuck out of this house. One, I just wasn't happy where I was. And two, it's like, again, it's just like, social media is just kind of toxic. Because I just see people like, you know, oh, got my first house before, 25, or, like, got my first apartment, blah, blah, blah. So it's just like, and I think that's like kind of my problem. It's just like, damn, like, am I really not on my shit like that? But it's just like, so that's what pushed me out of mine a little more, being able to have like a home finally to like call my own, saying like, I pay for this shit. I work for this. So I really like, even though it's a lot more responsibility, like I welcome that. So that kind of made me feel like a lot better. Like, okay, I'm going to be like 24 years old, and at least I could say for myself, like, you know, I have a home that I like work hard for.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And it's like, I think too, what helped cause this quarter life crisis that I was having, I think it's more so just career-wise. I think I've worked at a lot of places. I've worked at In-N-Out, I've worked at a boutique, I've worked at Chipotle, Cane's, Tilly's. Like, I've worked at quite a few places. Yeah. But whenever I wasn't happy somewhere, I just moved on to the next thing, you know? And I think at the end of it, basically where I'm at right now is kind of just like, what is my next thing? I don't want to keep doing, because basically, like, if you think about it, okay, started at In-N-Out, then I went to Chipotle, now I'm at Cane's, and it's like, that's still the same industry, and I'm not happy in that industry. Right. It's not necessarily that it was the company, it's not necessarily that it was the store or the people that I work with, it's the fact that I'm not the happiest in that specific
you're consistently
industry.
Unsatisfied.
Exactly. And it's like, I know that there's like a purpose for me out there, and I know that there's something else that like I want to do and accomplish, but I don't necessarily know what that is yet. And it's frustrating because, like Gabby said, like, she figured it out and she wants to be like a guidance counselor. Like, I haven't had that epiphany yet. I haven't had like that like ding that's just like, okay, like, you know what, I woke up today and I'm going to be a fucking, I don't know, the president of the United States. I'm going to work every single day now to be like that, you know?
Right. Well, is there something that you're like, okay, maybe you're not like for sure or like set on one like career or whatever, but is there like a kind of industry or like something that kind of like piques your interest more than anything else that you know that you'd like, you know what, I kind of want to work for that?
Yeah, so actually before quarantine, so I really, really want to get into the entertainment industry. I don't necessarily know what I want to do. I've been getting into apparently writing lately. Like, I know how to edit now, like audio. There's just a lot in the entertainment industry that I feel like I would love to like dabble in, and I think eventually I would find something in that I would be really happy with. And before actually quarantine even, is that the dryer?
That's our dryer.
Jesus Christ. Shut up, bitch.
It's buzzing. She's ready.
No, but before quarantine, my thought process was, okay, I'm going to be working less, because when I was working at Chipotle, I was working full-time. So basically like 35 hours to 38 hours a week. And then I was working at Sephora like 35 to 40 hours a week as well. So I had absolutely 100% no time to do anything. Yeah. So when I finally had left Chipotle and I went to Cane's, I had cut back on my hours, and I was kind of really excited because that would open up a lot of time for me to start pursuing like other things. And my thought process at that point was like, okay, I'm going to sign up for background acting because you don't really have to put too much money into it. And I could kind of get a feel. Like, I'll be like on set, I could get a feel of what it's like. I can get a feel of kind of what I'm like seeing, what I think I would like whatever. And then on top of that, get paid for it still. So that was kind of like my mindset. And then literally all of California completely shut down. And that really like fucked up all my plans. And even right now, like it's possible to do that, but it's still like a little unrealistic with everything that's going on. Yeah. So I just feel stuck, I think, more than anything. I think the pandemic almost makes me feel worse because I feel like I can't really move forward. When during quarantine, I actually wasn't sure if I was going to have a job to come back to, because there was a lot of issues. I work at a Sephora inside JCPenney, and there was a lot of issues with, obviously, JCPenney and Sephora, in case if you do know about it. If you don't, then you could look it up. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but I wasn't sure if I was going to have a job coming back, and that was my main source of income. So I was slightly freaking out, but they ended up, we ended up coming back, and like now it's just like, what's next? But at the same time, what can I do at this particular point in time in order to like move forward when everything's at a standstill?
Exactly. But I think a lot of people have made a point in saying like, okay, like, take this time as somewhat, like, of a blessing. And I know it's really hard to think of it that way.
Yeah.
As in a blessing, as in, like, you know, you actually have the time to sit down, figure out what you're about, like, actually, like, take a moment to, you know, look back on everything. Okay, what was I unhappy with? Like, what am I kind of getting into now that it's like, oh, like, life is kind of at a pause right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, let me actually take the time that I wouldn't normally have, you know, before quarantine to actually figure my shit out. So I think that's, like, the one thing you can, literally the only thing you could probably take from this is, like, okay, like, now I could actually, like, sit down and think, okay, would I want to do that? Would I want to try that? And it's like, by the end of this, then, like, hopefully it's, like, freaking soon, you could be like, okay, I want to hit, you know, this. I want to try being an extra. Or, like, maybe, like, you know, I want to dive, like, just more into, like, you know, the industry, like, the entertainment industry, like, somehow. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, you could kind of take that from all this negativity.
Yeah. And I think, too, I kind of went in, like, I got sidetracked. But basically, like, I did really like my position and my job at Sephora. And, I mean, I still really do. It's one of my favorite, like, positions that I've ever had or been in. But just with COVID and with everything that's going on, it's made that job completely different from what it was. Mm-hmm. And what I fell in love with about the job is almost kind of like what was taken away from the job when COVID hit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, we're still launching new products. Yeah, I'm still, like, you know, setting up things and taking them down. But it's the, like, as much as I can be an asshole, I actually do really well with, like, customer service jobs, which is really surprising. But but I do really well with customers. And one of the biggest reasons why I had, actually, matter of fact, like, in my interview for Sephora, they specifically asked, why do you want to work here? And my answer, which I was told later on was why I was actually hired on, was not because I love playing with makeup, not because, like,
just, I'm sure, what they
my
get
dream
all the
job.
time.
Yeah, no, it was like, I genuinely like the way I feel when I have makeup on. Like, I don't wear it necessarily for other people. I like to express myself when I'm feeling colorful. I'll do a colorful look. When I'm feeling like glam, I'll do a glam look or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I like the way I feel when I have it on. So I just want to help other people feel the same way.
Have you ever felt the need to try and create maybe a YouTube channel for yourself?
Yes.
And be like a beauty guru?
So
I know we've all kind of low-key had that dream.
So, okay. So yeah, I literally had, like, this, I'm so impulsive. Like, when I get this idea, I will pretty much go all in. And I basically was. I bought a whole backdrop. I bought a light. I bought a camera. Right. Yeah. I bought everything for it. I even, like, filmed a few videos. But I think one really big thing that held me back is, like, and this is something that I need to work on with myself, is almost the same thing that you said. It's like, you compare yourself to other people, and all these people were saying, like, oh, like, all I saw on my TL was like, oh, if I see another girl, like, try to be a beauty guru, or if I see, like, you know, like, another YouTube video about, like, the same thing, the same bullshit. And I think that for me, like, I'm not gonna lie, I bitched out. Like, I was, like, scared, I guess, in a sense of being judged and just, like, not, I don't know, being accepted, I guess, in that community. Yeah. But I think, like, with that, I do love makeup, and I love creating looks, and I can do it on my friends, no problem. But I don't necessarily think that it's my passion. Right. And I think there's a lot of people out there where that is their passion.
Just their thing.
Yeah, I actually know someone. Shout out to Hannah. Follow her on Instagram. It's Hannah MUA. Actually, hold up. Let me just, like, look that up, because I'm a liar.
And while you're doing that, I just have to say, like, I don't blame you for being scared, because there have been, like, a couple people, like, from high school who I know of that, like, have tried breaking into, like, that industry of, like, being a makeup guru and being, like, that YouTuber or whatever. And it's like, and it's always the people you grow up with. It's always the people that kind of know you before you blow up, who doubt you and hate on you the most.
Yeah.
It was like, I knew some people, we knew of this girl, And she's amazing. Such a beautiful girl, super nice. Like, she was, like, awesome. And her makeup was great. And, like, you know, she started making the videos. She was just starting out. Like, you know, like, obviously, like, she's starting out. Like, the angles aren't always going to be the best. The lighting isn't always going to be the best. But you know what? She did her makeup really great. And it's like, you know what, girl? Like, good for you. Like, we're supposed to be lifting each other up, you know?
Yeah.
But then it's just, like, I know some people who are like, what is she trying to do? Or, like, you know, like, why is she even trying to... Or, like, that's so weird. And it's just like, bitch, like, shut the fuck up. Like, she's trying to do her thing, and guess what, this girl is thriving now. And that was maybe like a couple years ago she started off, and she's doing so great. And all those bitches that were hating on her, I seen the comments now. Oh girl, oh my god, you look so good. Or yes, queen. And it's just like, man, you were just hating on her like a couple of years ago, and she was trying to get to where she is now. So it's like, I don't blame you for feeling scared, but I applaud those for people who just like kind of just
did
like
it.
take that take that jump. Fuck it.
Yeah. I think though that okay, wait, really quick, sorry. It's Hannah, HANNAH MIAAAA. Okay, she's a makeup artist. She's fucking bomb. Follow her on Instagram. She does super dope looks. Anyways, back to what I was saying. No, but I think also though that's where I had to kind of like sit down with myself and be like, okay, is this something that I really am willing to put my neck out for? Mm-hmm. And I think that's when I decided, you know what, I love doing it, but it's not something that I'm passionate enough about in order to stick my neck out for it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like even with this podcast, you know, like it's super nerve-wracking, like putting out any type of content, putting out any type of vulnerability or anything. Like literally we thought that like there was going to be 4 people that listened to this podcast, and we thought it was going to be us and our mothers, and that was it. And
to be fair, our mothers still do listen.
They do.
They are our most... I already know my mom's listening to this right now. Hi, Mom. Thank you for supporting us. But it's just like, I mean, they're our most consistent listeners, and I love it. But it's like, no, like, we actually grew a little bit, and, like, even though it's, like, you know, not much, it's like, I think this is something that we actually enjoy doing, whether it blows up or it doesn't blow up. It's just, like, that's something, like, this is something we enjoy. Yeah. Especially during this time.
Exactly. So like I said, I applaud the people who stuck it out, but it wasn't for me. And I don't know, I'm still kind of figuring it out, I guess, but I was just like having I had my very first panic attack. Mind you, I've never like struggled with anxiety. Mm-hmm. I've never struggled with like depression or like anything like that, but I feel like this past year I struggled with anxiety a lot. Mm-hmm. And it was scary because I had never dealt with it before. I've never literally ever, I can honestly say this, I mean, I get butterflies in my stomach when I have to like when I had to go in front of the class.
That's just being fucking nervous.
Yeah, like,
you know.
But I've never had anxiety about like situations. And I was having really severe anxiety towards the end of last year. And I had actually went to therapy for it. And I was like talking to somebody about it, and it was helping a lot to honestly go to therapy and like just have somebody give you almost like a different perspective, and then on top of that help guide why you're feeling certain ways. So honestly, therapy is not something to be ashamed of. I think at first, like, I was kind of like, I didn't really want to tell anyone.
Damn, I gotta go to therapy.
Yeah, like I didn't. I kind of kept it like a secret. Like when people, there was one time where like my manager had asked me if I could stay longer, but I had my appointment after, and I was like, oh, I can't. Like I'm busy. But it's like I should have just said like, oh, I'm going to therapy. Like And honestly, it did help a lot, and it helped me kind of sort through a lot of the emotions that I was feeling at the time. But when COVID hit, they wanted to do Zoom like therapy, and I just wasn't about it. I just felt like I wouldn't really get the same
kind of treatment.
Yeah, just like the same help, I guess. I don't know. I've been thinking about like trying it out, but I don't know. We'll see. But either way,
that's something I would actually like to try out too, because I do suffer with like anxiety and like not depression anymore, but like I did like a couple years ago, and I'm surprised I didn't go to therapy. But like I think it's definitely like a very, very like healthy thing to do. To have like that party who does, you know, it's like you could only, I feel like you could confide in your friends and your family so much, but I think you just need that neutral person who doesn't know about all your fucking baggage except the shit that you're giving them. And they're like professionals. They're like trained professionals who are there to like actually help you and guide you through your feelings.
Exactly.
And I wish I would have done that.
Yeah, no.
I can still do it. Shit.
No, yeah, you definitely, you should. And I think it helped me a lot at the time because I feel like when I started to get that really like peak anxiety, I started going and it like almost flared up. I'm going to talk about it like it's a fucking disease or something, but like it my anxiety was like at an all-time high. I literally remember I was coming down the elevator on my way to the floor for Sephora, and like nothing had even happened. I was barely walking into my shift, and I think that was the first time I think I started to have a panic attack. Like I don't really know, but like I started like getting shortness of breath, and like low-key I started crying, and I was like fuck, and then I kind of like went upstairs and I was like, okay, like wait, chill out, you're good, kind of talked myself out of it. Yeah. And then I went back down and I was like fine. But then after that, that's when I think I realized like, okay, like
something's going on.
Yeah, I'm not feeling myself. I need help in the sense of like figuring out why I'm feeling this way, and I don't understand why I'm feeling this way, basically. Yeah. So I started going, and it helped a lot, and then COVID happened, and then I couldn't go anymore. And then I feel like just recently I've been thinking a lot about just my life, like just mainly career-wise, I think has affected me a lot. Money has been a little bit of an issue just as recently because a lot of things hit me at one time. Like,
fuck the IRS. Literally. Totally feel you on that. And like, so I guess it's like, is therapy your cup of tea?
Therapy is my cup of tea. I think it's so healthy. I think you have to be really open to it, though, because if you go and you don't want to be there, you're not going to get anything out of it. Okay. And I feel like my first visit that I didn't want to be there, and it was the most useless visit I ever had. And then after that, I was like, you know what? Like, if I'm going to spend my money going here, I need to like be all in. Right. And then once I was like, it really did help. And I had my panic attack for the first time like a week ago, and it was super scary. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, for anybody who goes through those constantly, I applaud you for even getting through it. Yeah, because fuck that. Yeah, like literally fuck that. I just so happened to be in my car, like, waiting to go into Cane's. I was in between jobs, and I had felt that something was up, but, like, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take a quick nap before I go in. Like, I think I just need to, like, sleep or something. And then I tried to sleep, and I woke up, and, like, basically, like, I couldn't breathe. I, like, started crying. I was just like, fuck, dude, like, what is going on? I didn't really understand at that particular point that, like, that's what was happening. So I called Gabby, because I know Gabby's, like, struggled with anxiety before and stuff that.
Lex has seen me have a panic attack before, and, like, anxiety attacks, like, for sure.
Yeah, so I knew that, like, she was kind of the perfect person to call to kind of just, like, help me get through it. So I called her, and I was like fully crying. She's like, oh no, like, what's going on? I was like, I don't know. Like, literally.
And I was like, I got it.
Yeah, literally. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I was like, I don't even know how I said it. I think I was like, I don't
like tears in between, and I was just like,
yeah. And then she just talked to me, and like it helped a lot. But I think that was kind of like an eye-opening experience as far as like, I don't have my shit figured out emotionally right now. And I need to get it figured out. And I think that's a big part of the quarter-life crisis, too, because when you're not balanced mentally, emotionally, and physically, it throws you off just completely. And it's just like, I don't know, I just been thrown for a whole ass fucking loop. And then I kind of separated myself from a lot of my friends recently. Obviously, I can't separate myself from Gabriella because she lives across the hallway. But like, but from a lot of my other friends, I completely just like went MIA, and
kind of isolated yourself.
Yeah, and even my mom and stuff was like, "Are you good? Like, are you depressed or something?" And it's like, I just need like fucking space. Like, I just need time to like cry if I want to cry. I think I spent like literally 2 days in bed, and it wasn't that I was like necessarily depressed. It was just more so that like, I just needed those 2 days to just, like, cope with shit. Yourself. Yeah, and then I woke up, and I was like, I'm still not feeling 100%, but I got shit to do, and I'm gonna handle my shit. And like I said, like Gabby, like was a big help. But I think even like when we went out to eat, you were like, I'm not gonna lie, it's been hard to read you lately. Like I can't tell if I should like go up to you and like hug you or if I should like back off.
And it's kind of rare when I don't know how Lex is feeling. Like I very much am the person to try and like read someone and like, okay, like, and especially Alexis, like I've like lived with her for this long, like she's my best friend, like I know how she's feeling more than half the time. And then just like lately, since you are going through this quarter life crisis, it's like a little hard because it's like when you're upset, like I know you like to have your space, but at the same time I feel like this is just a different kind of upset because it's like I know you also need like that comfort at the same time.
Yeah. And I think a big part of it too is like, you know, you can have all the support in the world. Like my mom is super supportive. My sister, like even my sister checked in on me and I was like, bitch, like shut up. Like I'm good. Like no, but I mean I could still, she's grown now and I could like talk to her about those kind of things and we could kind of go back and forth. And like even Gabby, like everyone's super supportive, but I think at the end of it, you have to pull yourself out of that like negative mindset. Because even saying right now in the podcast, like I feel stuck, like I shouldn't even really be talking like that because I feel like, yeah, I do feel stuck in a sense, but I'm going to keep feeling stuck until I actually do something about it.
Yeah.
And, it's just annoying. It's just fucking rude that life just fucking does this shit to you.
It does.
But I think a big part of it does have to do with the fact that you compare yourself so much to other people. And social media has made that so much worse because, like you said, like you know, you see people your age. There's people that I went to high school with that have like 3 fucking kids, live in this beautiful home in Idaho or wherever the fuck they live. And I'm just, you're just like, bro, like you're living the life, like, you know. But at the same time, the grass isn't always greener.
Exactly.
You don't know what they're going through. Like, their Instagram page may look fucking Pinterest perfect, but like I don't know what their real life is.
And that's what I try to remind myself of too. Okay, like what you see on social media is the best and happiest parts of people's lives. That's what I constantly remind myself of. Like you don't know what's going on like behind like closed doors for sure. And I felt like when I was going through my quarter life crisis, for some reason, I always tried to make it look like I was actually doing okay on the outside. And I was probably like at my worst.
I think that's how I was this past year.
Yeah.
I think like
this is like, okay, let me try and like convince myself.
Yeah, I don't even think it's the fact that you're trying to like show off to other people. I think it's legit a mind fuck for yourself. Like I'm posting that I'm like having the best time, but like it's because I'm trying to convince myself that I'm having the best time. It's not even necessarily because I'm trying to convince you that I'm having a good time. Because for all you know, like, you don't even know what's going on.
Right.
You know? What do you know? But I think a lot of it is just, like, it's... Social media is just, like, so crazy. It's so fucked up. In March, actually, when I was, like, going through, like, the worst time, I think, with the whole breakup situation, I actually deleted all of my social media apps. And remember, I deleted it for, like, a month and a half. Because I could not stand the toxicity of how it was kind of fucking with my head. And it's like, it's not even like you do it intentionally. Like, you know, I might post something and it triggers somebody else. And it's just like, it's just so crazy because you don't intentionally do it to fuck with people, but in a sense it does. Like fucking Instagram models, all of these like people who are endorsing, you know, all of these different brands or clothing or whatever. It's like, they're not doing it to like fuck with your head and tell you you're too fat or you're they're
just getting their bag.
Like exactly. They're just trying to get their money. And it's like, and I feel like that's the misconception with a lot of those people, with influencers specifically, because I feel like a lot of people judge them and saying, like, I can't believe you're doing that. Yeah, I can't believe, like, you know, why are you getting all that work done? Like, you're setting a bad example for the youth. But it's like, are they? Like, they're just doing them at the end of the day. Like, if I look at them and I feel, you know what, like, why don't I look like her? Yeah. That's on me.
Right.
That's 100% on me, and that's my mental state, and that's, like, it's so fucked. I don't know. Social media is just so fucked. It's so crazy.
It is crazy, but, you know, it's funny, because when I was going through my quarter life crisis, like, a couple years ago, it's like, I literally, like, my car got so fucked up, like, I was out of a car. Like, I got in a bad car accident. So I was like, you know, I had no car. And then I think a little while after that, like my social media got hacked. Like my Twitter got hacked.
I remember that.
My Instagram got hacked.
That.
Fuck you, Ashley. Apparently she's like using all my pictures. Her name's Ashley now. And like people thought I went insane. Like, hey girl, like, are you okay? Like, are you having a mental breakdown? And I was like, no, just got hacked. But when all my shit got hacked, I was like, oh my God, like, I just thought of it more as part of, like, it's the end of my fucking world. But when I did decide to get my social media back, I was like, hey, like, this is kind of, like, the time for me to, like, start over in a sense. Like, all the people I got fucking annoyed with, all the people I didn't like, all the influencers that I was just, like, I felt like shit about when I looked at them, I was like, oh my God, like, the slate is, like, wiped clean.
Yeah.
And I got to finally pick and choose, like, okay, like, what do I want to see when I do decide to go on like social media? Like I need to surround myself with like real people who I actually like, you know, could deal with and actually like, and that kind of helped like honestly me in a sense because I was like, okay, I'm following people who inspire me, people with like real bodies. So I think that helps me get out of my like, even though like when it rained, it poured, like no car, social media got hacked. Like I was like, wow, I kind of took it as an opportunity to be like, okay, start over, start fresh. So, like, in a way, that kind of helps me.
I honestly can admire you for that because I feel like when shit hits the fan for me, I could be very pessimistic about it. Mm-hmm. And when shit hits the fan for you, you can be pessimistic for like a day or two, but for the most part, you try to flip it around and be optimistic about it. And I genuinely try to be optimistic about it, but like it's very difficult.
But let me tell you why I'm like that though, because I feel like when I was going through my core life crisis, I hit like rock bottom, like literally to the point like I was suicidal, and I literally that's why therapy, my cup of tea. I didn't take it. I didn't take it. But, like, I did call, like, the suicide hotline. And not that, like, I did not have a plan. I did not say, I'm going to die today. I did not, like, start sending out long-ass text messages to people saying how much I love them. I wasn't saying goodbye. But I was, like, the fact that I was even thinking it. Like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Like, that's not okay. And I called the suicide hotline. I, like, talked to someone. Like, I was texting someone. Bless their soul. I don't know who they are. Yeah. But the fact that, like, I got to, like, you know, that point to where I was just so fed up with, like, life. Like, that was during my core life crisis. And after I actually got to, like, talk to a couple people and, like, actually I got to, like, talk to my doctor, and it was, like, great after that. So I got to, like, really flip it around. And now that I'm, like, out of, like, that really dark place for my life, it's, like, I get my... Ooh, there goes Max.
I'm going to kick your ass. Shut up. I love you.
So it's, like, now that I'm finally out of that dark place, I finally, like, okay, like, it's okay to be upset. It's okay to be annoyed. It's okay to be petty. Just knock it off after a while. So that's how I learned to be like, okay, I give myself my time to be upset, and then I get over it because it's like, I'm not going back there.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's how I learned, okay, like, I need to be a little, what can I take from this? Like, how can I, like, you know, see the light at the end of the tunnel?
I love that because that's, again, like, pulling yourself out of it. Not a lot of people are able to do that. Mm-hmm. Like, it's really, really hard to pull yourself out of a really negative and dark place. And I feel like right now I'm currently in the process of, like, trying to do that. And I don't think I'm necessarily in a dark place in the sense of, like, that deep.
Yeah.
So I admire you for pulling yourself out of that. But I think I'm just more so in the mental state of, like, I kind of feel like it's, like, do or die right now. Like, it's either going to be, like, I succeed in life or I end up as a fucking prostitute or something. Like, I don't know.
No, not a prostitute. We'll be strippers before that.
You know what? You're right. I've already decided, like, if push comes to shove and, like, I can't figure my shit out, like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, like Cardi B. Like,
it's not gonna come to that.
No, I don't think I can be a stripper.
We'll start an OnlyFans before that.
I can't be a stripper.
Got a different tone.
I literally can't dance, so it's not gonna.
That's a fucking lie.
Stripping's not for me.
Alexis is like, I can't twerk, bitch. I got the evidence.
I can't do it. I
Yes, you can.
Anyway, I literally.
Anyways.
No, but that made me laugh. But I actually have a question for you. Like, now that you've kind of disclosed that information, do you think a part of you wanting to become a guidance counselor is you trying to help the youth navigate through that kind of stuff? Like, because, I mean, I know guidance counselors have more to do with technically, like, the school aspect of it. Yeah, but I mean, the original purpose of a guidance counselor was to help kids that were, like, that needed the help. Mm-hmm. So do you feel like that's kind of, like, the situations that you've been in are what push you to decide that?
Absolutely, yes. Like, I feel like I've been through so many stages in my life, like, so many. And I feel like I could kind of, you know, help in a sense, like, the youth and try and, like, you know, like, obviously getting educated in, like, psychology and, like, sociology is obviously, like, a very, very big part of it. To do what I'm going to have to be able to do. But just from, like, my own life experiences, I could, you know I could sit down with, you know, someone, a teenager, and be like, okay, like, I could probably relate to what you're going through.
Yeah, I think, too, you're so empathetic. You are so empathetic. Like, if someone comes to you... I was listening... So I was trying to upload our episodes onto SoundCloud, and I accidentally uploaded episode 4, which was with Mythe, onto my iTunes. And the other day I was listening to my music, and that came up. And I ended up just listening to the episode, and it was when she got fucking tahini in her eye, and you were like, "Oh, are you okay?" Oh. Yeah, and I was just laughing the whole time, and I was like, you know what, Gabby's just like a super empathetic person. Like, I feel like I'm like that. But only when I allow myself to be like that. Mm-hmm. Like, I try not to a lot of the times, but I feel like you, for the most part, like, if somebody comes to you crying, you will literally almost put yourself in their shoes and try to understand to the core of their being, like, why they're feeling the way they're feeling. I absolutely do. So I think you'll be a great guidance counselor.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I do try and always put myself in another person's shoes. I would consider myself a very, very patient person, like, to my core.
For sure.
And I just, like, I've always been, like, very much, like, what's wrong? Are you okay? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what kind of made the light ding for me. Because it's like, I actually, like, if I could get paid a good salary to be a humanitarian, like, I would do it. But there's no money in that. So it's like, and I know there's obviously not a lot of money being a high school guidance counselor, but it's like, I get to help people, and like,
it'll get you by.
And that's something that I know I would love to get up every morning to do, knowing that I'm going to make a difference in, like, a child's life, whether that's going to be, like, on where they go with their education, or helping them figure out, like, how to get through their days at home if it's, like, a toxic environment, or, like, how to deal with, like, friends at school and, like, being, quote, cool, or, like, you know, not cool, or, like, whatever. So it's, like, that's, like, definitely, like, things I've been through in life, and me just, like, kind of naturally, like, always wanting to, like, talk to people about, like, what they're going through. It's just, like, that's why everyone, like, literally calls me a mother. Like, whenever something's wrong, I'm the first, like, I'm not trying to, like, toot my own horn or anything, like, but it's just, like, I'm the first person. If you're falling, I'm gonna try and catch you. Or if, like, you're
the first person I called when I had an attack. Like,
and it's like, if you're like, I don't know what it is, just like, it's like I always want to be there for people and talk to people, and, like, it's like, honestly, it's like, I'm, like, even if I'm not, say, on good terms with you, like, if I see you sitting down in a corner crying by yourself, and I probably, like, you know, don't fuck with you, unfortunately, it's just in me, I'm still gonna be like, hey,
like,
are you okay? Yeah. And it's like, I kind of hate that about myself. At the same time, it's like, that's why I kind of want to go into the industry, because it's like, I could look past, like, my own feelings or opinions or whatever it may be.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing to do, because I don't think I could ever.
You just have a strong personality.
Yeah.
You're a Taurus.
I can be very empathetic.
You can.
But
to the people you love.
Yeah. But I pick and choose who I'm empathetic towards. And Gabby can honestly, like, see someone on the street and just be like, you know what, like, you're having a rough day. Like, let me help you out. So that's dope, honestly.
Thank you.
But yeah, like, quarter life crisis is a real fucking thing.
It's a real thing.
It's crazy. It's just, like, it's so much. I know this episode was kind of heavy too. I know the last episode was a little heavy.
I know.
This episode is a little heavy. We haven't been as funny like we fucking usually are. But and I know
that we're so funny.
Oh my god! And I know that we said there was gonna be a featured guest on this episode. Oh my god. But to be honest, we forgot up until this exact moment when I said it.
We never said we were professional podcasters, so.
Basically, when we say something, don't quote us, because we're lying. No, but that guest we are planning on having. It's just like I said, like the past kind of like week or two, I've been really distancing myself, and it's just been a lot. And Gabby's kind of been the only one that's been there to deal with it, so that's why we just decided to hold off on that. Well, I decided in this moment because I forgot before this moment, but we're just gonna hold off. Hopefully until the next episode, maybe the episode after. But it's gonna be a really good episode. It's really exciting. Mm-hmm. And yeah, basically, like, we kind of, I think this podcast started off as, like, just for fun, and, like, now it's kind of turned into, like, what we're going through as the weeks go by, we're going to talk about. And that's what it was. It's like, yeah, life isn't always shits and giggles. Mm-hmm. It's not. And as much as, like, we're hilarious, and I know this. Fucking narcissistic as hell.
But it's true.
No, but as much as, like, we do go through a lot of really funny things, like, even just within the past couple of weeks with us being, well, me more so being in the slums, we've gone through, like, some funny shit. But, like, for the most part, we want to be super real on this podcast because it's not even necessarily for, like, our viewers. It's for us, you know, and we're trying to be really true to ourselves and true to, like, what we're speaking on. And like I said, this past week just has not been shits and giggles for us. So we decided to do this episode. Hopefully this next upcoming week it'll be a lot better and we'll have better content, I guess or not better content, but like lighter content. Yeah. But that was this episode for this week. Quarter life crisis. I'm fucking going through it. I'm gonna figure it the fuck out though. I can promise you that. Like, I'm not gonna be one of those people that, like, doesn't end up doing anything with their lives. But kudos to all the people who know what you want to do, are super successful, and are starting their own businesses.
And I think that's we should end this podcast on a very light and positive note.
Yes.
So we're going to give a couple shout outs, like, to some people who we look up to and are, like, applauding so much.
People that, like, we would love for you to support.
Yes.
Because they're, you know what, they're doing it, and they're doing the damn thing in a fucking pandemic.
And they're not scared to go after their bag and start their business.
That part. Like, these people have the biggest balls, and I am so proud to say that I'm even affiliated. So we're going to go ahead and name some businesses if you guys are interested. Name some other podcasts or blogs so that way you guys are aware of them in case you're not, and give them a listen. Like, you know, everybody has different shit.
We're gonna, like, check out their pages. So who do you want to start with?
I personally want to start with the other podcasts, people that are podcasting right now or blogging. So I actually have a really good friend. She works at Sephora, and it's funny because we never worked together at Sephora, but through other people we were introduced, and her best friend started a podcast, and it's called Authentic Amigas.
I love that name.
It's so cute, and if you know them, if you listen to the podcast, you will get a very, very clear idea of the type of people that they are. The name suits them perfectly. And their names are Val and Flo, and they are such beautiful people. Their podcast specifically is more so about, like, just being empowered, just being authentic and being themselves, and basically stating that there's nothing fucking wrong with being who you are. So if you need a more uplifting podcast, listen to them. They're great. There's another podcast that we would like to mention, and it's The Boys. Gabriella.
So go ahead and listen to Black Not Mild. That is the name, Black Not Mild. It's a podcast with some flavor. I'm literally reading the bio off Instagram. Not my words. Brought to you by Zay and Ball. I know they talk a lot about sports, and it's, like, really great. I've watched one or two. Like, it's like I'm not much of a sports person, so I can't speak too much about it. Yeah. But they're very good friends of ours, and I think you should definitely give them a listen. Black Not Mild podcast. You can follow them on Instagram. They are uploading on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you listen. So
Love
definitely
that.
give
They're
them
expanding.
a listen. And if we do happen to have some boys who listen to this, definitely
give them a listen.
Give them a listen.
Yes. They talk anything and everything about sports, whether you agree with it or fucking not. Exactly. And then another blog that I kind of just wanted to shout out really quick. So my very dear friend Marissa Anderson started a beautiful blog on, I believe, don't quote me, I believe it's only available on Instagram right now. I'm not sure if it's available on other outlets, but I personally follow their Instagram account. It's called The People's Outlet. And basically,
so amazing.
It's such a beautiful, healthy
safe
place. Yes, safe place. That's the perfect word. So it's People's Outlet, at People's Outlet, and basically she posts. She accepts. What is it called? What am I trying to say? Not DMs. Entries. Like, she accepts entries from different people, and whether they want to be anonymous or not, she posts it. And it's kind of just literally an outlet for people to be able to express how they feel or express things that they've been through or whatever the case may be in a very healthy way, where other people are very supportive and they're there to kind of just like be like, wow,
it's
thank
very
you
much
for sharing.
a positive environment.
Yes.
And it's kind of like a place for you to share an experience you've been through. And I think that she's getting quite a following.
Yes.
And people are able to read different people's stories, and it's like very inspiring. And I think it's, you could read about these different stories, and like I think that's why so many people are starting to like follow this page, because like, whoa, like, other people go through like what I go through. Like, I'm not the only one that's been through some heartbreak. I'm not the only one that's had like, mental health issues. So all around amazing.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. I love just reading the stuff that's on there, just because a lot of it's relatable, honestly. You could read it and just relate to the people's pain, or even just like cry with them, even if you've never been through stuff like that, or be happy with them if it's something happy. So definitely check out that page. And if you want to submit something, just DM her and let her know. It could be anonymous if you want. It's a good way to kind of just like get things off your chest.
Absolutely.
So definitely check that out. And then a couple businesses that we want to touch base on. I'm going to actually go back to Val from Authentic Amigas. She started a nail business. So it's called Butterfly Fingers. She has super dope nails.
Oh my God.
That she does herself.
Girls, boys.
Yes, press-on nails, and they're fucking bomb. Like, let me tell you, this girl's fucking talented. And not only does she do like nails, but she also started her own jewelry line. And me and Gabby were like the first to, well, not the first, but like the day it launched, basically, we bought a bunch of jewelry from her. It's all super pretty, super dope.
So cute.
And
good
just
material.
go out and support her. Yeah, go out and support her. She's the sweetest person. So if you have any questions, just DM the page and she would be happy to answer any of your questions.
Absolutely.
But definitely check her out.
Okay, and then I'm going to give a shout out to Pretty Baked Smoke Shop. It's a shop for the girly stoner, glass pipes, grinders, lighters, and more. So if you smoke, which I'm sure more than half of you people do.
All of our stoner friends, where
all
you
of our
at?
stoner friends. It's like I'm like referring you to.
And let me tell you, she has the cutest stuff.
Oh, so cute.
The cutest stuff.
And it's like I'm not like an everyday smoker or anything like that, but it's just like
but
the glass pipes that like I see on here, I'm like, dang, they're so cute. And it's just like, and like we're not even saying like, you're stoned or anything. It's like there's so many other benefits to like smoking, like.
Yeah, and not only that, but she also does like glitter lighters. So even if you're not a smoker and you got some candles laying around, bitch, get a lighter.
Get a cute ass lighter.
Get a cute ass glitter lighter. They come in purple, yellow, green, pink, basically any other color you can imagine.
Orange, yellow, super
and
cute
they're super
stuff.
Cute.
Yeah.
Super cute.
So that's what I'm saying. Like women, men, like they're just turning their passions into a business, and that's what she's doing. It's just like, you know what? I smoke a lot. Like, why don't I get in on it? It's a booming industry.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Girl
it was a good
is
move.
doing it right. She's making money moves.
Yes.
Okay. So next, I'd like to shout out one of my really, really, really good friends, Vanny Cologne.
Yes.
She is an amazing photographer. You could follow her on Vanny Cologne Photography on Instagram. She does portraits, events, action, on her Instagram page on Vanny Cologne Photography, she has like her email in there, so for any inquiries. But she takes the most beautiful pictures.
She really does. Yeah, I was looking at her page the other day, and like if you need a maternity shoot, if you need an engagement shoot, hell, if you need your whole wedding shot, fucking call this girl. She will. She takes really beautiful pictures. She is able to just capture moments that can last literally a lifetime. Like, you put them up on your wall and it'll bring back this entire day's worth of memories. So definitely check her out.
And she's just an amazing person in general. Like, I love her so much. So yeah, Vanny Cologne Photography. And I have to add into that, her husband AJ is an amazing writer. He's very much into film, you know, all that good stuff. So it's just like, even if like you want to work on, if you want to dive into that, you know, kind of like film or like anything like that, and you need someone to collaborate with, her husband AJ Cologne, amazing writer, just like knows anything and everything I know about film, directing, like just like different things in that kind of industry. I don't know like too much about it, but yeah, amazing. And then just them two, like her being like an amazing photographer and him being an amazing writer and wanting to direct and like, you know, produce or like doing whatever he wants to do. Like, it's like amazing. Them two together, just the dynamic duo.
Yeah, for sure.
So those are my shout outs.
Okay, lastly, I have one more that I want to shout out. Shout out to my girl Kaylee Palazzolo for KK Beauty Bar. She does lash extensions, which, let me tell you, like, I look like a whole ass man. I look like a man. And I started getting my lashes done because with the mask, I like, if I had short hair, you wouldn't be able to tell if I was a boy or a girl. I promise you. So, no, I get my lashes done by her regularly, and she takes really good care of my lashes. Like, I haven't been experiencing like a lot of like I don't want to say fallout. That's like a makeup term, but like fallout. Like my lash fallout. Yeah, my lash fallout, I guess. And she does a really beautiful job because I like mine a little bit more on the natural side, but she also knows how to do like super volume if you like volume. And then she also does facials, and she's doing it all on her own at a time where, you know, her job during COVID, it closed. There's lash places that are not open right now. And she, you know, has this whole system of the way she does things. She takes your temperature, she does all that, and she's very safe about it. We both wear a mask at all times, very clean. And she only takes one client at a time, so it's not like there's multiple people always like in the room or anything like that. So she does a bomb job, and she does facials and peels. So if you're interested in that too, like if you have any acne problems or you're just looking in general to like get a facial, which, bitch, at this point, like, we all need a goddamn facial because I swear I aged like 10 years over the past like week just over the fucking stress. So check her out. She it's KK Beauty Bar on Instagram, and like I said, she does a beautiful job on lashes, and then she also does the skincare. And she can honestly give you like a pretty decent skincare routine too. Not pretty decent. She gives you like a good skincare routine too if that's what you're looking for. So just check her out, and I hope that, you know, during this time everyone's just thriving and like doing the best that they can. Yeah, because it's really hard times, and I think that just as individuals and as people, we need to be a lot more supportive of other people instead of trying to bring them down because we're jealous or because you
just want to be a fucking hater.
Yeah,
don't
want to be a fucking twat. Don't be a twat.
Don't be a twat.
Don't be that person.
No.
But quarter life crises actually do affect a lot of people. They affect, according to The Guardian, which I don't even know what that is. But
oh, Lord.
is that a newspaper?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
Or a magazine? Something like that. I don't know. It's on Google, so basically it's valid. 86% of millennials go through a quarter life crisis. 86%. So at some time between 18 and 30, you will go through a quarter life crisis, and there is nothing to be ashamed about it. Go through it, get through it, and just be better.
See, you know, realize that, you know, I'm sure you have people to talk to lean on. Go to therapy. That's our cup of tea.
Go to therapy. That shit, like, I can honestly say, I won't say that it, like, oh my God, it changed my life, but it is a game changer.
It helps.
For sure. It's a game changer. Mm-hmm. It helps so much. So go to therapy. Don't be ashamed. and just do whatever the fuck you want to do. You want to be a porn star? Go be a porn star. I'll support you.
Oh my God.
Like, do it. No, I'm just kidding.
I will be one of those views for you.
Yeah, I was like, I will really support you. But, like, no, all of my friends, you know, that are pursuing things, the fact that you even have the balls to do it at this point in time, like, I commend you. Like,
and it's like, I think we need to remember, it's like, we're so young still, and I know, like, the pressure is always on and everything, but I think just remember just to take a step back, breathe. I'm only in my 20s. Exactly. Your 20s, whatever, even like your 30s, whatever. It's a time to just figure your shit out, and it's just like you're going to get to where you want to be on your own time, and I think you just need to be patient with yourself the most, and, you know, it's just like it's going to all work out.
Yeah. And I guess that's where we're going to end it. But
good episode.
It was a great episode. If you don't like it, fuck off. No, I'm just kidding. Come back for next week, or maybe not. I don't know. No, but it was a great episode. I think it was a great episode. I feel like it was more so, again, a little serious. But,
a little serious, but that's okay.
But yeah, but it's real. It's real shit. It's real shit we're going through. So, thank you for listening.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone.
Thank you. And then hopefully you'll hear back from us next week. If not, maybe a month. I don't know. And
definitely check out those businesses and those podcasts that we shouted out. We come on, millennials. We gotta.
Dude, no, seriously, go check out those businesses. They're super dope. If even any of them remotely were relatable to you, check it out. Yes. It's way better than getting from fucking these your average. Yeah, like I'm just support the small businesses because they're gonna be big businesses one day. And
pay full motherfucking price. Just because they're your friends does not mean that you should get a discount.
Yeah,
you should be paying full price, maybe and some.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say something I forgot. Fuck. I don't remember.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just end it here.
Yeah, I guess we'll just end it here. But yeah, thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. We love the support.
Love it always.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Dude, I forget everything.